process of like making movies because it's like
No.
a lot of deals. It's like that term like called napkin deals, like just like people at
Hmm.
like dinner parties or people at like parties like after like big events that are like just people in the industry and stuff like that. You're just talking to producers, you're pitching a project, and the next thing you know, you're signing a napkin with, and that's gonna be the next 6 to 8 months of you just working on a project, or some
Hmm.
reason it's like, well, yeah, that used to happen at like parties or bars where like events like this took place, but like subtracting those events and like, well, that's not happening anymore. Well, there's no social events going on, so there's a lot less. I feel like there's still ideas and stuff like that being thrown around, but the accessibility of them and like having creatives sort of make different things and get it out there, get into producers, has definitely caused a strain, I feel like. And
No, yeah.
I do feel sort of scared for 2021 and 2022 in regards to the indie film market, just
Hmm.
because I mean I feel like both of us, like before the podcast started, we were talking a lot about what was the director of Ichi the Killer,
Takashi Miike.
Takashi Miike, and like sort of uh, relatively obscure like indie directors, and just how COVID's affected like production, like indie production companies that are like,
Hmm.
because beyond anything else, they're like small businesses, really. Like
Yeah.
their product are small in regards to like Columbia Pictures or Universal, but at the same time, it's like they've been heavily affected, and a lot of them have closed, and I'm just scared that we're not gonna get like the same like authentically artistic or experimental project that we've gotten in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a more closed industry now. That's definitely true. Um, I would say that to definitely look at people like Don Hertzfeldt. I don't know if you're familiar, but he's a filmmaker and animator that he's definitely in like a very like textbook like independent filmmaker in which he pretty much controls like all aspects of his production. Like he's the one who he writes, he shoots, he records, he produces, he even distributes the films himself.
He
Like if you
distributes a
look at
film.
like
How does
yeah,
that work?
most of his films you can only really like rent or buy on Vimeo, but
Oh,
he's
okay.
still like made a name for himself, and he's still like, obviously in the indie circuit, but he's still been able to something I was reading about him is that he's found a way to like be able to turn a profit from that and still be able to like make his own films, which is like I'm sure like like that's something that's huge that like
Yeah,
almost no one could
it's
do that, to be able to just make like normally he's like the only credit on his film on top of like maybe one or two other voice actors, but even
that's
then like
insane.
he's like the voice actor's main voice actor in like most of his films. And like his it's called It's Such a Beautiful Day is probably one of my favorite movies personally. And everything he does is very like it's pretty minimal. It's like stick figures and stuff like that, but he's able to make them all himself. And he's definitely a really talented writer. And he released something very recently, part 3 of one of his series of shorts called fuck, it's I'm like blanking, but I still love it. It's oh my
Yeah,
god.
don't worry about it. But
I don't know, but
I,
but
I
but
definitely
I'm sure I'll remember it.
understand. I definitely understand. Like, I mean, it's such. I feel like it's people who aren't in the industry don't really realize how difficult it is to really make a profit. The film industry, when it comes to like, for example, you have a movie that you want to make, right? And your ability to actually make money from it is just a lot harder than people think. Like,
Yeah, I
if
mean
you
it's
if
it's
you
the first thing we learned in film business classes. Most films
yeah,
lose
it's
money.
like if you grab, you can grab any film, just like film business book, and then one of the first things that it'll say, it's like most films lose money.
Yeah.
And that's like the industry standard. And being able to actually turn a profit in film and be an independent director and just like even distribute yourself, like that's props
Yeah.
alone.
No, it's super impressive. And that's why I really like him. And also just because, he's very, very talented and his movies are very good. I also respect that he's very like, I don't know, not I wouldn't say anti-Hollywood, but he's definitely like a big he being independent is something that's like very important to him. Like he has rejected a lot of like huge deals with like big companies. I can't remember. He like turned down like a deal with like I don't know if it was Disney or Universal or something like that. That was like $50 million. That like all of
Damn.
his friends thought he was crazy, but he still did it. And
Mika did the
you
same
know,
thing though. Mika did the same thing. Like
yeah,
he got constantly offered deals in Hollywood, to do like big budget, like huge budget movies, and then he was like, and I remember there was an interview when they asked him about it, and then he just said, "Fuck Hollywood. They're more like I don't want to deal with any lawyers. They're all lawyers
yeah,
there." I was like, and he was like, "I just want to make movies." And then it's like, I was like, how many movies has this dude made? And just going on this IMDb page,
yeah.
being
It's
like,
like hundreds.
jaw dropping amount of movies. It's like that's a man that actually just loves just being on set and just creating stuff on the go and on the fly, which I absolutely respect immensely. Like his stuff is definitely not for everybody. Like Ichi the Killer, it's very kind of
Yeah,
disturbing movie, I'd say, but it's in regards to artistry and in regards to like doing what you want, like it's clear that he loves doing what he's doing,
no,
and
yeah.
it's
Takashi Miike will always hold a special place in my heart. He's definitely the one that got me into like the artistic aspect of film, and he was definitely one of my first favorite directors. And I had a lot of fun just like discovering him and like getting into his stuff.
yeah, like I feel like everybody